Hi, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This space to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content as we go along. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualist Academy. My apologies for being very late with tonight's live stream, or should I say the next day's live stream, because I've gone into the next day now. I had some business stuff that I was in the middle of a huge discussion with the founders of a company. So I kind of had to continue the conversation because I needed to find out some important information about a product I need to buy for website development. So it's kind of asexual websites are kind of included in that. So it's important that I get it right. And it's only for a limited time. So I needed to squish in talking to them. And I ran right over time. I've been in discussions with them for throughout most of the day and the last hour. So I haven't really got much other work done today, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, I'm here now. And so today, or yesterday, I should say now, I went into the city centre. And I can't even remember where I was walking, but I was walking somewhere. My mind's a bit like, boo. And anyway, when you have one of those moments that you just someone just look, you can feel someone looking at you. And I can believe it. There was this really young foreign guy, tan coloured skin, and he just looked at me right in the eyes. And I'm like, wow. And he was in his 20s. And, usually it's me looking at guys because I like younger guys, as you know. And he was just looked me right in the eyes. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. And so I don't know if you've actually ever had one of those moments where someone just catches your eye, but they look right into your eyes, dead at you. And you just feel kind of awesome inside. Hello, my life. Lovely to see you. Yeah, I'm a bit late with the live stream. I did apologise. I've been having to deal with business stuff that there's time limits on. So I ran over by a long time. So I've still got to get, they've still got to get back to me again. But yes, it's lovely to see you. Yeah, so in this live stream, I'm talking about this. I was in the city centre. I was going to say today, but yesterday, and this guy just looked at me straight in the eyes, and he was a young foreign guy with beautiful coloured skin. Yeah, it is exciting, but that was it. He just went past me and looked at me. He didn't speak to me, which was a shame, really. But I just thought it was so nice to actually have a guy really look at me. He was really young and just looked at me right in the eyes, because I had a t-shirt on that says it's over here that says love your fabulous self, but he wasn't looking at the t-shirt. He was actually looking right in my eyes, and I could see his beautiful brown eyes. He had lovely brown hair, and he looked really beautiful. Do you know what I mean? And I thought it was just so nice. And I think in your life you have those moments occasionally, don't you, where you are just like, wow, that was an incredible moment. But I used to always kind of get a bit sad though, because it's a shame the person didn't actually speak to me. Do you know what I mean? But I always remember this guy. I used to have news. A lady for the yearbook was taking pictures of random people and asked me and my boyfriend to be in a picture together. I grinned and she said for us to get closer, so I put my arms over. This is great news. Well done. This is wonderful. His shoulders, and he did the same, and I was like, is this close enough? And she took a picture. Oh, that's pretty good. That's really good. That's what couples do. It's normal. Oh, that's really, really good. Did you hold his hand, by the way? Because I was doing hand lessons last night before the daddy long legs decided to frighten me off, I was I woke up and he was in the corner. I don't know if he's still in the play. But I wondered, did you do the hand holding? Because that's quite nice as well, isn't it? I still haven't met the right guy for me, but I just was really happy that this guy was looked at me, because usually it's me you're looking at younger guys like first, but he looked me dead in the eyes and I thought it was really nice. He's comfy and not yet, but I explained why and he was okay with it, and we're going to tomorrow and we agreed to hug longer. Oh, that's so sweet. It's really nice you're talking about stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? It's really really good you're talking about stuff. Do you know what I mean? You're talking about it before you do it, which is very important, especially as you're asexual as well, and he's not. Because obviously there are going to be moments when he gets very physically excited, I would have thought, unless he turns out to be an asexual guy after all, which can happen. Like there's one person who's an aromantic asexual. She's been married to a sexual person for years, but she found out recently that they're actually demisexual. She posted that they're demisexual, so they're not they're on the asexual spectrum after all. He brings out the real me, and I'm not letting depression rule my life when I'm around him. That's really good. That's really good. That's really good. No, you need to let in the light, let in as much light as possible. I used to be depressed for years. I'm not anymore though, thank goodness, but it was a long time. It's really important to let in the light. Yeah, he sounds so amazing, your boyfriend. You're so lucky. I'm really happy for people like you who are really happy. You know, when you found that really rare, special person in your life, it's just like hold on to them. You know what I mean? Me, Aero Ace friend, has a crush. She wants to date, and I'm excited for her. Oh, you're more Aero Ace friend. Oh, that's good. Aromantic asexual. Yeah, it's really good. Because a lot of people there's a lot of stereotypes in the asexual community that aromantic asexuals don't want to date, they don't want a relationship. And that's not true of all of them. Some of them, they do want a queer platonic relationship. I've known people like that. I know people now that's in relationships. Like I said, the person I just talked about, they thought their husband was completely sexual, but found out their husband's actually demisexual. They've been together, I think, 25 years. She's really nice, a person as well. But do you know what I mean? So, and she does want to be in the relationship with her husband, and people are quite cruel to her sometimes. And they're like, "Oh, why do you want a relationship if we're aromantic asexual?" I mean, and it's so rude. Just because you're aromantic asexual doesn't mean to say you don't want a relationship. Just because you're not romantic, do you know what I mean? It's like some asexuals, they'll still be in a relationship and have sex, but it doesn't make them not asexual. It just means that they're doing something together with their partner that's been agreed. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking she might be demi error ace, because she said she has romantic feelings. She thought she never would, till she met this one girl, and boom. Demi romantic, then someone who experiences romantic attraction only when a deep emotional bond has been formed. Yes, demi-romantic. You can also get grey romantics. They were friends for a while. And that's really the best thing to be, though, in my life. Like I've said on this channel like a million times, that you've got to be friends with someone first. So, do you know what I mean? There's some people and they're like, oh, I can't have a relationship. But I mean, it's like, well, you're going to have to pick. If you're going to have a relationship, really, you need to be picking one of your friends to have a relationship with. It sounds a bit weird, but in the future you do, because do you know what I mean? It will end up not in a very good way. I mean, I haven't got any asexual friends that are suitable for a relationship. So I'm a bit stuck there. I'll probably be, well, I'm not stuck, am I? I'll just be single for years, and that's okay. I don't even know if I'll end up in a relationship. I'm 50-50 on it. Like 50% of me wants a relationship, 50% of me doesn't. And then sometimes I'm completely 80% don't want a relationship. Because I'm quite happy being single, and I do love my single life. And at the moment, I feel I need to be free, young, free, and single. My boyfriend is okay with cuddles now too. So yay! Oh, this is really good. Oh yes, cuddles are definitely a relationship thing. Well, in my opinion, they are. But some asexuals, they like to cuddle their friends. But I have a completely separate boundary. That is a hug to say hello, goodbye to my friends, and a cuddle for a relationship, not cuddling my friends. I have boundaries. I have strong boundaries. I think that's because I'm a romantic asexual. I very much draw the line and distinction between romance and romantic relationships and friendships. Speaking of the title of the video, I get lost in my boyfriend's eyes. Oh, yeah. I thought it's really just nice to share with you that, you know, he looked me straight in the eyes, because usually, like I say, it's mostly me that notices younger foreign guys, but this one was like one in my city going past me, looking at me right in the eyes, and his eyes are so beautiful. That's what I really love about foreign guys as well. They got, especially like ones that look Indian, or you know, like Bangladesh or Pakistani, that type of thing. They've got such beautiful, beautiful eyes. A lot of them, like beautiful brown eyes, beautiful brown hair. You know, the guy in The Life of Pi. Have you seen that film, The Life of Pi? Oh, he's really beautiful. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it's really nice when someone looks at you in the eyes like that. But I'll never ever forget this guy when I went to the UK Asexuality conference as a speaker last year. And I was with my friend Martin, who filmed the actual video footage for that. And on the tube as well, when I was with Martin, there was this guy, this young guy. I think he must have been about 19 years old, but he was so beautiful. And he was like really protective over me. It was really weird. I thought he must really like me. And it's because I was like stood there. Martin was stood there, and we were like holding on to the poles, you know, to in the tube, because we weren't sat down. And this guy was like by the door. And like he was like, I was closer to him than I was Martin. And this guy by the door, he was like coming near me. It was really weird. I could tell he felt like protecting me. It's really, but in a nice way, not a horrible way. And then when it was time to get off the tube, he didn't have to do this because it wasn't overcrowded, the tube, but he specifically got off the tube and stood back to let me off the tube, like made a point of it, because it wasn't overcrowded. So there was no need for him to actually step off. He could have just like let me walk in front of him, but instead of letting me walk in front of him, he's like a real gentleman, bless him. And he opened, you know, as soon as you think he pressed a button, no, there's no button on the tube, no, but when the doors open, that's right, he stepped out and like waited for me, like, you know, please go on. And then I said to him, thanks for being so gorgeous. And I kind of meant his attitude was gorgeous, but obviously I was also thinking he's gorgeous. And his little face, it just lit up like it was the best compliment anyone had ever given him in his life. And his whole face was elated, and his eyes was so like, wow, I can't believe she just said that about me. And he was smiling so much, and oh man, he was like beautiful, so gorgeous. His face was beautiful. His because I get attracted to a guy's face and frame, you know, like shoulders and skinny guys. I just thought he was so stunning, beautiful. And his smile was like amazing. And he was so happy that I said that to him. He's like, me? Like this. And I just wished, you know, I mean, he probably would have been in a culture that have to have marriage and have to have kids and probably sex as well, you know, because that's probably the way he was brought up. But I mean, you know, he clearly didn't mind that I wasn't the same age as him. He clearly, I felt he was like really protective over me, because the way he was stood near the doors, like being really, really close to me. It was just really strange, but in a nice way. And it's just like, I kind of wished, you know, like it's no good, like just speaking, you know, it's no good like continuing that sort of thing, really. It's one of those things where you just see someone and then that's it. You never see them again in your life. But it's like, I bet he's so beautiful to cuddle and kiss. I'm love struck and I can't stop thinking about my boyfriend. Laugh out loud. Oh, that's really nice. I think it's really, really, really lovely. I think asexual love's the best, but I'm very biased in that opinion. But I do think it's true. I think it's very, very pure love. You know, I was talking to my friend who's got a girlfriend who they're both asexual, and there is an age gap there, which is very significant, but it's only significant in terms of numbers, in terms of like how they get on together. They really love each other, and they told me they might be moving to live near their asexual girlfriend, which would just be amazing for them, because I know they're so much in love. He's always texting her, even when I'm with him, like with him as a friend, like just eating food or drink. He's constantly texting, like literally, like he's like really, really young guy. He's very young for his age anyway, so it's really good. And I just think it's so wonderful. I love seeing people happy. I love seeing people in love. I love seeing couples which are succeeding with no sex in their life, but having a really, really deep emotional connection, love, and pureness in their relationship. You know, it's got a completely different feel to it. Even when I talk to asexuals about their relationships, yeah, it's very encouraging. It is very encouraging in my life, you know, and I can feel it. I can, whenever I talk to you all, I can, you know, you and the other people that are in couples, like one of my friends, he just got married last month to his asexual partner, you know, they're husband and wife now, you know, just beautiful romantic asexuals, like loving life and each other so much. I mean, he's a rare breed, he is, because he's like a one woman man, do you know what I mean? He's not flirting with other women whatsoever. She's in nearly all his pictures together. He's always got his arm around her. He's always like showing her off, but in a really, really good way. Do you know what I mean? There's guys that show women off as like, oh, they're some sort of trophy, and there's guys that show them, oh, thanks for the thumbs up, love you, thank you. But there's those who show their woman off in a proud way. You know, it's like we're together in photographs. He's always got his arm around her. He's always smiling. He's always like protecting her, even in photographs. Your boyfriend is the same. That's really, really good. It's really, really good. I mean, he's feminine and masculine at the same time, which I think is really ideal mix, you know. I think personally, guys these days, well, what I'm interested in is a guy who's got some both. Do you know what I mean? They got the, I think I mentioned this before, they got the masculine kind of strong sense of go get your dreams, go and take action, do things, be very bold, blunt, brave, know exactly what you want, get down to business, do it, you know, don't mess around. You know what you want, say what you want, mean what you want, and do what you want, and stop faffing around. Do you know what I mean? But I also think it's good to have feminine qualities as well, where a guy, I'm talking about guys because I am female, only attracted to guys, I'm heteromantic. And with guys, you know, I also like the fact of someone who's empathetic, sympathetic, you know, emotional, not afraid to show their emotions. And him who's my friend who's asexual, married to his asexual partner now, he has feminine qualities as well, because he does get emotional, you know, and he's very sensitive, kind and caring guy. So he's a very, very rare breed, and I'm so glad he's got a woman of his dreams for him, because he really deserves it. You know, he's one of those very special type of guys that's very unique, as in, you know, got a very good mix of masculine and feminine qualities. And, you know, I just know he'll treat his woman really well, and she's going to be the best person always in his life. BRB going to get, oh, you're going to get some food. Yeah. So, I just think, you know, it's just wonderful when you see relationships like that. I think it's really wonderful when you see guys like that as well, you know. And it's got half masculine and half feminine. And I really think everyone should pretty much be like that, because I think in order for a man and a woman to really get on, you do need a mixture of both masculine and feminine, both men and women. Do you know what I mean? And I think, you know, with modern day society these days, there's a lot of things that get blurred, as in, you know, traditionally in society, men used to fulfill a certain role, women used to fulfill a certain role. But now, with women going out to work and having their own independence and not needing a guy like they used to, and earning their own money and being able to support themselves, and, you know, guys kind of like don't know where they're meant to approach a woman still or not, where they're meant to make the first move. And I kind of think some guys have gone a bit too soft, and sometimes they're just like waiting for a woman to rescue them, and they're not like manly enough to know what they want, which, you know, I think the tables have kind of turned a little bit up. I think really in any relationship, a man and woman both has to have masculine and feminine qualities. Both of them do, because that's the way that you interact with each other and get on. If a guy is completely masculine, there's no way a woman can relate to him, because he's not empathetic, he's not sympathetic. It comes across as cold, strong but cold, so the woman can't emotionally connect with him. Similarly, if the woman's too manly and not showing any feminine qualities, it'll be a bit like she's more like ordering her guy around, rather than being strong in and of her own right. It's more like she's going to order him around and not show her soft side and her caring side and her an emotional side. So I think it's really important in any type of relationship, that you have each person being masculine and feminine and coming together in the middle. Thank you for coming back, my life, because how can either male or female relate to each other if one's completely masculine and one's completely feminine? Do you know what I mean? You can't really relate to each other like that. So it's much better if you have a guy and female. You can be any gender, obviously. You don't have to be male or female. You can be non-binary, but whatever gender you are, I think it's good to have a mix of masculine and feminine about you, so you can really come together in the middle and relate. Because, you know, otherwise, how are you going to relate? It's going to literally, when they have, like, I don't know about the Venus and Mars thing, but when they say, you know, women come from Venus and men come from Mars, it's kind of like, well, if a man is completely masculine, I'm just using this gender as reference, obviously I know that other genders, not just two, you know, if a man's completely masculine and a woman's completely feminine, to me, I can't see how those two can completely get on, because the woman's going to need some emotional connection with the guy. She's not going to get it, and the guy's going to need, you know, like, if a woman's too feminine, she's not going to be able to really take care of herself or do anything for herself, and then she's going to be like, do you know what I mean? She's not going to be able to kind of look after herself. That's when the blonde bimbo type of thing hits, you know, comes about. Like, oh, women can't live without a man or do anything without a man. And that's not what you want. So I think you want a nice mixture of both male, masculine and feminine, so that they can relate to each other. They can both be emotional together, kind and caring. They can both be strong in and of their own right as well. And they can work together like a beautiful sort of dance. I think that's the best thing. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I think it's really, really important, you know? And so I think society has blurred a bit relationships, but I think what's so bad now is good and it's bad at the same time. It's online dating, you know? Online dating's great because it brings a lot of asexuals together. I mean, a lot of asexuals, if they're looking for a relationship, will most likely find them partner on an asexual dating site. Do you know what I mean? Or asexual group online. Well, they might not be asexual, obviously. My life's got someone that isn't asexual, which is great, that he doesn't need sex. It's beautiful. But those are very rare guys. Very lucky. So, you know, but so the online world's really good for that. And obviously I connect with thousands of asexuals around the globe, you know, that I wouldn't be able to do without the internet. So all that's really good, but it has given the whole of society a swipe culture where a lot of people, they're just swiping, like guys are just swiping from women to women to women. Not so much I'm talking about asexual guys, but even a lot of asexual guys, you know, a lot of them I find on the dating sites and apps, they're just literally looking to just chat to anyone, everyone, and not really serious about getting a relationship. And I think that's very difficult if you are looking for a relationship. You know, if you're looking for someone who wants a relationship, you need someone who's sturdy, strong, knows what they want, not just, you know, I want them to have friends. I'm not saying that, but you need someone who knows exactly what they want. They're not just chit-chatting for chit-chatting's sake. And they actually mean business and want a serious relationship. My boyfriend said he doesn't know when he blushes. And I'm like, well, you blushed a lot when we goofed around for years and when we chat at times. And he was like, really? And I was like, yep. Goofed around for years. Oh, he must have fancied you for a long time then if he's been blushing for years. I think I found the one for me. I don't know, it's early, but yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it? You know, you're both young, but I mean, if you both feel the same way and you've known each other for 3 years, it does sound like, I mean, when you talk to me, it sounds like you found the one, to be honest, but I don't want to say that. It depends, I guess, what your life goals are, your ambitions and dreams for the next 5 years, really, you know, to be honest. Yeah. Because, you know, if you want to go to a certain college or university and he wants to go to a completely different one, then you'd have to work that out, wouldn't you, where you can do like a long distance relationship or not, and all that type of thing. So I think really it's about, probably early on, I would advise it's the same same area. That's good. Yeah, because I would advise chatting together, even though you're young, both of you. I would advise chatting together about what you want to do with your life in the next 1 to 5 years. Do you know what I mean? It's really important. You're both doing local colleges. That's good. What about university, though? Will you want to go to the same university? You're going to go to the same university, or have you discussed like what type of career you both want and all that sort of stuff? I think it's really important to discuss all these early on because, and do you want marriage? Do you want kids? I mean, you're asexual, so, and gender fluid, so I don't know if you'd actually want kids. Do you know what I mean? But you need to discuss all this stuff straight up, because the only thing is, if you don't, you'll get hurt if you're both wanting completely different things. So it's much better to get all this sorted out before you get so emotionally attached to each other that, it would hurt to tear yourself apart from each other if you both end up wanting completely different deal breaker things. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's things you should be discussing. Or, I know you're young, but people get married young, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, so you should be discussing about, if you don't just ask the question, what do you think of marriage, what do you think of kids, do you know what I mean? And is it something you want one or both of them, and in terms of sex, obviously, if they don't mind not having sex, are they okay to never have that? And I'm guessing they are by the sound of it. Do you know what I mean? But like, what do you want to do? Like, what sort of career do you want? Like, what job do you want? I want to wait before we talk about certain things. Why would you wait though? Because obviously you need to get all these things up front sorted out, to be honest. I mean, this is what people get wrong. They wait for months, like 3 months, till they talk about something, and then they can get hurt when you're more emotionally attached. It's much better to talk now about all these big things before you get more serious into a relationship. Ideally before you get into a relationship, but certainly before you get more engrossed in the relationship. Because if he wants, for example, kids, and you never want kids in your life, then that's going to be no good, is it? Unless you have a short-term thing. Do you see what I mean? And I don't think either of you want short-term stuff. So a lot of times, traditionally, people don't know what the heck, people don't do this in relationships. Every time I talk about that stuff with my exes, months later, we'd break up. Well, then they weren't the right person for you, were they? Do you know what I mean? It's better to talk about early on to make sure that it's right. Because if you're talking about it, then you break up, it's obviously they're not right for you. And it's better they break up with you sooner rather than later, or you break up with them. Do you know what I mean? Or start talking about how you'd work things out. Because leaving it's not going to help. It's just going to mean you're both more emotionally attached to each other, and it'll hurt more. And that's why it's much better to discuss things early on, ideally before you get into a relationship. But it's certainly in the early days, you should be talking about, like, where do you see yourself in the next 1 to 2 years, 5 years really. But I mean, obviously, as you're 17, they might not know yet, but they must have an idea about what sort of job they want. Well, not everyone does, even older guys don't. Do you know what I mean? But it's like some guys, they might be like, oh, I'm okay. If you want kids, I'll have kids. If you want marriage, I'll have marriage. If you don't, I'm not bothered. But then you got to work out whether they're really telling you the truth on that, or whether they're just saying it to keep you happy. So you have to, instead of saying, would you like kids with me? Would you like to marry me? You don't say that. You ask them as a general question. So you're not going to frighten them off. So you don't ask them personally those questions. You ask them like, oh, so what do you think of marriage? Is that something you want in a relationship? What, down the line in the future? And what about kids? Is that something you want in the future? Because I mean, obviously, if he's 17, he might not have even thought about that yet, which a lot of 17-year-olds, they don't know what they want, So the reason, if you split up with them later, is because they were no good, because they realised that you were incompatible probably when you've talked about it. But it's better to do that like early on. I mean, I don't want you to split up with this guy, but at the end of the day, if you're both wanting different things, like, I don't want you, if I don't say this to you now and you carry on, it's not going to be very nice, is it? If you do want completely different things, but you might find out you want a lot more of the same things than you even thought in the first place. And you'll be like, oh my God, we're even closer now because I found out that he likes this and so do I, and he wants this and so do I. So we're even more right for each other than I thought we were in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So it can work the opposite way and bring you closer together if he's the right guy for you long term. If not, then it won't work. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think, he's very keen on you, but you don't, if you go and say, do you want marriage with me? Do you want kids with me? That'll frighten him off. So don't say that. Just say to him, what do you think of marriage? You know, if he says, I, you know, like 100% want marriage and you don't want it, then obviously you then turn around to him and say, oh, well, the reason I ask is because I don't ever want that. So where does that leave us? Do you know what I mean? That's what you'd say. I'm going to text him. Yay, I has had an idea. I'll see you tomorrow and fill you in on any news. Yeah, I just think it's good to like have a discussion. Obviously, you know, it's best to have a discussion between you without loads of people around if you can. But if not, you know, just ask general questions. Don't make it personal. Don't say, do you want children with me? Don't say something like that. Just say, oh, what do you think of having kids? Is it something you think about or thought about, you know? And because some guys, they just don't know what they want, you know, like I like younger guys, as you know, in their 20s predominantly. And when I ask them, do you want marriage or kids? A lot of them are like, oh, I haven't really thought about it. And then I'm thinking, well, what's the point in even wanting a girlfriend if you haven't even thought about whether you want kids or marriage or not? To me, I mean, a lot of the young guys, they don't, but they need to. If they're serious about getting into a relationship, which you see, they don't think long term. They're not thinking like 10 years down the line. They're just thinking about now in the moment. Like, it'd be nice to have a girlfriend, but as I am older in birth certificate age, I'm very, very young in lots of ways. So I'm really suited to a young guy. But I have enough experience of life to know exactly what I want. But I've always been like that kind of anyway, like I know exactly what I want. But having said that, at the moment, I'm very much enjoying my single life. And at the moment, I think I'm glad I'm single because I'm very flexible. Like if I need to move for a job, I don't want to move from here because I love living here. I've always told you that. But if I had to move for a job, if it was like the job of my dreams or something, then, you know, I could just up and leave and, you know what I mean, go somewhere else. And I've got no guy or anything to like hold me back. I've got no one to worry about moving home, moving away from him, and whether he'll come with me or not, or whether, you know, whether he can get a job near where I'm moving to and how that will work out. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather really sort my career out first and be, you know, settled in where I living permanently with no ruptures. But, you know, you never know what the future's going to hold. I mean, I've always thought I'll live here for years, like the majority of my life, but I don't know, you know. Because if there was a job that came up that I absolutely adored, then you know, I might go and move for it because that might be the only way of getting the job and actually being able to sustain being there all the time. Because commuting from here to certain places would probably, if it's full time elsewhere, would probably be very difficult for me. But I do love it here. So I don't know, but in general, I want to keep, you know, stay here. But I mean, imagine if I had a boyfriend and my dream job came up, what the heck would I do? Would I stay with my near my boyfriend, or would I go and move away? You know, I don't have that type of thing to worry about at the moment. I don't have that type of thing to think about, you know, and that's a good thing that I'm single. And I think maybe, like I said, I've got no friends that are suitable for being in a relationship with. So I think down the line, if I'm in a relationship, it'll probably be a lot of years later. I can't see me being actually in a relationship for a very long time because I actually really do like my freedom as well. I'm kind of really used to my freedom, you know. It would have to be someone I've gotten really well with who love kissing me. I'm back. He apparently went to bed early. Oh, bless you. Bless him. Yeah, I mean, it is like it's gone 1:30 in the morning. It is very late here because I started the stream late. You know, I was late because I had business stuff. I was in the conversation of stuff I really needed to deal with. And I still have to continue it tomorrow, today now. So, and I've got quite a busy day ahead as well. So, but yeah, I just think, you know, it's really important that once you ideally want to talk about stuff to do with the relationship before you get into it. But if not, you need to be discussing all this stuff in the early stages, but don't make it personal, make it general so they feel like they can just relax with their answers. Do you know what I mean? That you're not like holding them to ransom, if you know what I mean. I mean, that's what I do with guys on asexual dating sites and stuff. I'm like, you know, what's your view on marriage? What's your view on kids? What's your view on living together? No, I don't want to live with a guy. You know, I love living on my own. You're excited for tomorrow. Oh, bless you. I know it sounds like you really love your boyfriend. If he's the right one for you, he won't mind you asking him lots of questions. It's good. He sounds like he's really good for you. He sounds like he's really into you and a really best friend to you. I am so pleased for you. It's really important. There are, like I said, there are asexuals that make, that have really long lasting, loving, healthy, happy relationships without sex ever. And I think asexual love, it's got a completely different vibe to it. It's not on hypersexualized sex energy. It's based on true, pure love, bestest ever friendship, and some are romantic, some are not. But the ones that are romantic, it's like really proper romance, like like careful, consider romance. I get to hold his hand and hug him longer. Oh, that's so sweet. It's really sweet, my life. I'm so pleased for you. I love all this. I'm a hyper romantic, so it's just like, oh, it's so lovely. I'm just romantic with myself. Like the other day, I went on a hot date with myself at the cinema. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm just going to keep having hot dates with myself. I think it's much better because I haven't got anyone in my life like you. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's good to focus on myself and just have nice dates. It was hot because the weather was hot, well, warm, and I did look nice for myself because I like just looking good for me. And look in the mirror and say, "You look damn hot, girl." Out you go. And so it's really good fun. But you know what I mean? It's very good for self-confidence. And to be honest, I have a lot more confidence when I'm single than like doing a relationship. So to be honest, there's a lot more pros to me being single than in a relationship. So I don't know if I'll ever end up in one. I can see like pretty much all my asexual friends being in relationships and me not. Some nice chocolate Netflix. I don't watch Netflix and I don't eat normal chocolate. I don't watch TV at all. I don't like, I can't. I'm a person who gets very, very, very bored very easily. So I couldn't be with a boyfriend who wanted to sit on the couch and watch Netflix. That would literally do my head in. I know that sounds really bad, but everyone who's asexual loves Netflix, which is the majority of the asexual population, I think. But I mean, I don't mind having a movie day at home, like occasionally, like watching 3 movies, just no TV, but just the movies on and popcorn and stuff like that. But to be honest, I'd rather be kissing the guy than watching the film. I'm like, we're sat on the bed together watching a movie, and we're like, yeah, I'd rather snog you than watch the movie because I'd rather be doing stuff. Because I get so bored easily. I have to be doing something like 24/7, 365 days a year nearly. I get so bored easily. So I'm like always doing stuff, like learning stuff, watching personal and professional developments. Netflix and snob, did you say? Netflix and snob. But yeah, I like going to the cinema. I prefer going to the cinema than staying at home watching movies. But I do like to have snog, not snob. Snog, you meant SNOG, you put snob. I think you meant snog, didn't you? But Netflix has got movies on it, hasn't it? Hasn't Netflix got movies on it? Yeah, I do like movies, but I kind of like go to the cinema usually, or I have them on DVD or Blu-ray and watch them at home. But I haven't watched it at home for a while, so I'm usually like doing stuff to do with business most of the time, writing, business, learning, developing, growing constantly. That's why I'm not sure if I'd ever be suitable to a relationship. It would take a very special guy to be with me because like I get bored so easily. Like that's why I live like living in separate places. I like all the passion while I'm with the guy, all that type of thing, all the chatting, all the dating. And then if he wants to just sit and watch TV, it's like, well, you can go back to your own place and do that. Thanks very much. Because I've got a website to build or a YouTube live stream to do or a Facebook post to write. BRB, someone's spamming you. Oh. So, yeah. So I'm a type person just likes to do stuff all the time. I can't sit still very often. I just get bored easily. I get bored with the normal life. Yeah, I love living a busy life. Like I met my best female friend who's not asexual new partner on 2 days ago a day and a half ago. And yeah, and he was like, "Oh, you're very excitable." And I'm like, "Yes, I am very excitable 24/7, 365 days a year. And if I'm not like this, it's because I'm poorly and ill. So I'm glad I am like it, I mean, most people don't have the sort of energy that I have. Do you know what I mean? It's not that I'm not tired. I am like sleepy tonight, but I just like have like this high octane voice energy. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just part of my personality, which I love to be vibrant and energetic. even though I am very sleepy at the moment, because it's been like I haven't really done much other than talk about work stuff today to do with this new thing I've got to buy, but I don't know which package to get. So I've been talking and messaging about it like for the last like 10 hours or something, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. It's like, oh. I said, can I just talk to someone on the phone in the end, because it's just getting too much. I don't understand them. They don't understand me. And so that's why I was late coming on here. And but it needs to be sorted out, really. I want to get it sorted out because I've got other things to be doing. Do you know what I mean? Like actual work. But I need to get this because it's a business thing that I need to buy, which I didn't expect would come up. And it's come up at the right time because I need this thing, actually. Because something I bought doesn't work. So, yeah. But yeah, but I'm really pleased for you, my life. It's really, really nice. I think it will take a really special guy to be with me, because I just get bored so easily. I can't be, I don't like to live a normal life. It's not who I am. You know what I mean? I just would, if I had to live a normal life, seriously, I'd be so miserable. I'd just be so miserable. You have returned. You remind me of like Star Trek or something. I can't even do Star Trek. Is that right? Hey, look at that. Woo! My friend likes Star Trek. But yeah, so I think it's really important that if you are going for a relationship, that you are going for someone you've got things in common with, interests in common with, hobbies, and obviously the deal breakers like marriage, kids, sex, all that type of thing. I think it's really important. And when I started this video, I was talking about this guy who looked at me in the eyes, and I remember there was there was a person in my Asexual Perspectives book, and they were talking about the fact that they loved it when they had like met a stranger, and they'd like feel like some level of intimacy with that stranger. Like maybe a passing glance, like a feeling of love feelings. But then they would never see the stranger ever again. They like that type of love feeling, but I usually don't. I like I usually, probably because I'm a hyper romantic, I kind of hanker after that. It's like, well, what if I was to speak to the guy more? What if he had a conversation with me? What if, we got to be really good friends and really liked each other? Do you know what I mean? So I guess I look more at the negative side, which is bad, I guess, that, oh, well, he came into my life briefly and went again. Whereas other people, like the other woman I told you about, she looks at it as, oh, that was great. I had the feeling of love feelings for a few minutes, and that was made my day. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's just a different perspective on the same type of thing. But I'm enjoying the fact that I have you, my life, who's in a relationship at the moment, and other asexuals that are having really good relationships. And I just want to say how exciting and happy it makes me to feel that there's true love out there that's not based on like sex and who can get the most sex and have the most sex and stick it in each other. And do you know what I mean? There's society is so full of all that type of stuff. It's like, where's the kind of older fashioned, as it was known, romance gone, where you date and you hang out and you cuddle and you kiss, and no one's wanting to jump another one's bones and like get off on them and stuff like that. They're just really enjoying all the romance, the kissing, the cuddling, the excitement of being in each other's company, and even just like you say, my life, holding the person's hand. If I hold a hand of a guy I'm really attracted to, it feels like electric. Just holding their hand, it feels like holding their hand is so special. You know what I mean? It feels like electric. And that's what I love about asexual love. It's very, very different feeling. Like sexuals don't really get that excited over holding someone's hand, but if I'm in a relationship, I'm holding my partner's hand. I mean, it's like beautiful. It's like a warm, deep connection. Like when I hold someone's guy's hand, because I'm not interested in women, when I hold a guy's hand, if I'm in a relationship, it kind of like connects me to that person. I feel their soul through their hand. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but it's kind of like when they're connecting with me, it's like I feel like I'm really close to them. Like the hands represent kind of our bodies wrapped around each other, but it's just our hands, and you can feel the warmth and tenderness, and you know, when the palms meet like this, it's a bit electrifying. It's like really warm and beautiful soul connection. For me, physical attention is important. Hand holding, cuddles, hugs. I know what you mean. I've experienced it. Oh yeah, that's really so important for me in my life as well. Like some people can't understand it. They're like, why do you? Well, I think it's more like guys who are more sexual, I guess, or well, even some of those. Well, for example, the 2017, the heterosexual guy that I dated, he didn't understand why I liked holding his hand all the time. I'm like, because I like to feel connected to you. That's why. And he didn't get it. But I think he doesn't know this about himself, but I think he's an aromantic sexual person. He was a very, very sexual person. He used to tell me he took women for meals to pay. He paid for the meal, expecting them to basically have sex with him afterwards. To which they did and never returned in his life ever again. I can tell why. But you know what I mean? But it's like when I spoke to him, it's like he didn't know how to kiss. And it's like, and when he was round the park, he was just treating me like a mate, you know? So aromantic asexuals, they tend to be warm and caring and kind because they've got the kind of platonic connection there and the feeling. They've kind of got some sort of friendship love bond. Whereas I don't know all the sexual aromantics. Some sexual aromantics are obviously different. I mean, there's one that goes on my page. She's really lovely. She likes cuddling and kissing her boyfriend and stuff like that, even though she's an aromantic sexual. But, you know, there's certain aromantic sexuals and they're not interested in friendship, bonding, affection. All they want is the sex. And so I think he was an aromantic sexual because he had no romantic bones in his body, I don't think, whatsoever. You know, he couldn't understand why I wanted to hold hands and be romantic and stuff. He didn't really get it. I'm coaching a friend on relationships. Oh, bless you. Did you get advice off this channel by any chance? I can relate everything back to them. But yeah, it's really important. But I like that. I like to be connected. If I'm in a relationship, I like to be connected to my guy all the time. So I need a guy who's like that, you know? Who loves like if I'm out anywhere, I like holding hands all the time and cuddling. It's just the way I am, because I think otherwise I may as well just stay single. What's the point? Because otherwise it's like I'm not even with the person. I've got very big black and white distinctions between being in a relationship and not in a relationship, if you know what I mean. Like if I'm going to a theme park, I want to hold their hand when I'm walking from ride to ride, or I want us to be cuddling when we're waiting to go on a ride. Do you know what I mean? It's like part of the fun, I think. You know what I mean? Because I absolutely love theme parks, like roller coasters, although some of them are a bit too high for me, so I don't go on all of them necessarily. But, you know, like roller coasters, log flumes, all that type of thing, like a fun fair type thing. And I love all of that. But if I'm single or with friends, then I don't need to be kissing, cuddling, or holding hands with them. I don't want that. But if I'm in a relationship, I like to make use of the time. I told you I'm a real doing person. Like I have to be doing something all the time. So if I'm with them, I like holding their hand. I like kissing them, cuddling them, making use of the time. We're waiting for the rides in a romantic sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like, let's kiss and cuddle and have a good time. You only live once, don't you? You may as well enjoy it and have some quality romance time. Oh, you don't do roller coasters, my life. Oh, man, I absolutely love theme parks. It's my favourite thing to do in a relationship, apart from kiss. I do like going out to the cinema and for food as well. That's got to be... I do that more than go out to theme parks usually. I do cinema a lot more, but I know it might sound weird, but I want a guy in a relationship to be able to like the same things as me. So theme parks, if he doesn't like theme parks, it's no good, really, to be honest with you, even though that sounds weird, because I love going to theme parks. It's one of my very, very, very favourite things to do, and I can go on my own, but it's like I'd like to be able to go with the guy I was in a relationship with. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, I just may as well stay single. Everything that I say is like, well, if I'm not doing this, that, and the other with my partner, then I may as well just stay single, because it's no different. I went to Chessington World of Adventures in the UK 5 times one year on my own, 5 times, and I made myself go on this roller coaster that's that literally span around and then went upside down and spin around. And I went on that on my own. And that was quite scary. In fact, I didn't really want to go on it first. And I was like pushing myself. I'm like, you're going on this. You're going on it. I'm going to make you go on it. And so I kept going on it until by the end, I wasn't really frightened anymore. I was just like, oh, this is good. Let's go on it again and again. I think I went on about 8 times in total. It was really, really good. But it's like a ride that goes like this, roller coaster, and then it spins around. And I think it goes upside down or tilts or something, I can't remember, but it's really really good. And when I went to Disneyland Paris in 2017, I went on my own for 5 days and 4 nights, and I would do that definitely 100% again. I would go on my own. I mean, I wouldn't mind going with a friend if they were the right friend to go with, but someone who likes it and who I'm going to get my maximum ride time with, and they're not going to expect me to go and sit and go to bed early and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's not me. I'll be out all day in the theme park. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but I loved it. I spent 2 nights in London and, 5 days and 4 nights in the park. I'd loved in the future have to enough money to just do that every single year, once a year. Oh man, that would be heaven to me. I absolutely love Disneyland Paris. I love lights, camera, action. I'm a doing girl. Noise, lights, camera, action. I'm very different to most people on the planet. Most people that go to London, they're like, oh, I can't go on the tubes. It's just too much for me. And I'm like, I love the tubes. I chill out on the tubes. And they're like, the tubes are really stressful. And I'm like, the tubes are really chilling out. They make me feel so sleepy. I just relax. And they're like, oh my God, it's so stressful. I don't want to go on there. I hate it. Everyone's miserable. And I'm like, oh man, I'm just chilling on the tube. Like, woo. And they're like, people are like, I want peace and quiet. I'm like, I want noise. And people are like, I want nature. I'm like, I want the city. It's all right. I've got to go anyway now because I think my time has ended. But I just want to end it by saying it was wonderful for that guy to look me straight in the eyes, and it's nice for it to it was nice for someone else to look me dead in the eyes for change and look beautiful. So always keep looking your beautiful asexual self and enjoy your life as much as possible. Till next time, embrace your quirky and each other. Thanks for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Please share it with a friend or anyone you think may benefit. Imagine you bump into each other tomorrow. What, me and this guy? Wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely? I think he's probably studying at college there or something because he was heading from that way, but I don't know. So it was the opposite side of the road to it, so he could have been doing anything. He did look a little bit older than college, so he might be coming from the university, though. University's near there as well. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I've got to go into the city tomorrow anyway, or today now. So, yes. I just think one day a guy will actually be strong enough to talk to me first. It should be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, but I do get guys talking to me, but they're like sexual guys who are interested in me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm asexual, don't like sex, but thanks for the interest. I appreciate it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really a lost cause most of the time. Most of the time. You're so lucky you've got a sexual guy who loves you and can live without sex. It's marvellous. Anyway, have a lovely time tomorrow or today now in this country. Have a good time with your boyfriend. Anyway, I'm going to go now. Bye. Take care. Love chatting to you too. Bye. Thanks to everyone else who's watched. I know there's been someone watching this whole live stream all the way through. I don't know who you are because you haven't been in chat, but I love you dearly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Please subscribe if you haven't already and hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now in the middle of the night or whenever I do or post a new video. Until next time, embrace your quirky, like I said a little while ago, and each other's. And I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Take care. Bye, my life. Bye, everyone else. Lots of love to you. Take care. Sleep well. Bye.